one of the things that we talked about in our pre-meeting was a little bit about your transformational ideas. So tell us a little bit about that.
So over the years, first of all, I've never sought leadership roles. They've always come to me. I never positioned myself. I never said, I want this role. Leadership opportunities came to me, and when they came to me, I wanted to make sure I was successful in those roles. And so I sort of defined a leadership model that tends to end up making things better. And the other thing I've learned is that my leadership models have to be simple. Complexity is hard to adapt, it's hard to adopt, and it's hard to implement. And so what are the simple things we can do? For example, in working with some other leaders, both and working with myself, managing my own teams, and also doing some consulting and coaching with others, came across this idea, this concept, that effective leadership is about creating a culture where the work gets done. But what type of culture? A culture that's high on trust and high on ownership. And what I mean by that is people thrive if they're in an environment where they believe that leadership trusts them. One of the mottos I've learned is, people will do the right thing if they know what the right thing is. I can dampen their enthusiasm, I can dampen their innovation, I can dampen their motivation if I try to control them. So the opposite of trust is control.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to prove to me you're worthy of trust before I let you do anything. So kind of training more towards micromanagement. And on the ownership side, I want you to understand what needs to be done and why it's important. And from that point on, you own all of the implementation. So one of my other mottos is, as a leader, I want to be really good at defining what and why, but never how. My teams own how. That leverages their expertise, because I can't be the expert at everything. If I'm an expert at creating a culture of ownership and trust, I'll be successful. And it's especially true when you get into the world of technology, where for the last 18 years my leadership roles have been. There's no way I can keep up with technology and know how to do everything they do. So instead I have to rely on them and trust them. But I also want to make sure that they take ownership for the results, which means I've got to describe what the results need to be. That's the what and the why. Does that make sense?
Oh, that's excellent. So that's exactly what you just described was your recipe for how you build trust in an organization.